skirt. Okay, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. This is a different type of video, man. I'm loving it, man. Let's do it.
Let's rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Yas Daily Show. Okay. In this video, we actually had a question from our good buddy and our brother, subscriber, the champ, Leo. So Leo was asking what the future of Cardano looks like. Well, glad you asked, sir. The future of Cardano. How do you think the future of Cardano looks like, Kenny?
Yeah, we just did a video about the top 10 cryptos, and we kind of briefly went over it at the end of that conversation.
Right.
One of the reasons why was because we just thought it was special from top 10.
Absolutely.
It's on its own, special list, right?
Yeah, it's on its own track. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on its own track.
Yeah.
So yeah, we think the future is bright. We would like to see more updates for sure, but
Yeah.
given the projects that are being worked on and the objective of Cardano,
Right.
we do see it as a much more capable coin
Right.
once the smart contracts get implemented.
Nice. Well, let me let me jump into this. Let me start off by saying this. First of all, one of the things in the future of Cardano is that we are giving away $500 worth of Cardano. I just have to throw that in there, And so once we get to 5,000 subscribers?
Yeah, 5,000 subscribers. That's all you need, man.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen, that is happening in Cardano's future. Whether you agree with it or not, people, this is what is happening. Now, second of all, I want to say that there is 4 billion people who are currently offline, right? And this is I don't want to, how can I say, this is the demographic, right? Or this is the population that we're looking at to make a significant impact to the growth of Cardano as well. And as you know, a lot of what Cardano is doing is in Africa. But before we even jump into that, right, let's start on the surface level, right? And then we're going to jump into some of the things that Cardano is currently working on and how we see that changing the future of Cardano and how it's going to provide value to society in general, right? It's what
when
it
you
is.
create value, you in return get paid back.
You get rewarded.
Currency.
Yes, sir. You get rewarded
So
in anything you
what's
do.
the value that Cardano is providing? That's the
Yes.
big question, right?
Absolutely. Now,
Yep.
I think there are many other people that also agree that Cardano is going to be providing a lot of value, right? And one of those people is going to be Grayscale. Grayscale is
Yeah.
an investment firm, right?
Yeah,
And
one of the biggest funds out there.
exactly. And Grayscale has added Cardano to its digital large cap fund.
Yep. That's
Right.
major.
So tell us a little bit more about this, sir.
Well, they must have seen something in the coin for them to want to invest.
Right.
And here's just a quick bullets of the items that they've seen in Cardano that makes them want to invest and add it to their fund.
Right.
And one of the things that they see in Cardano is that it's actually one of the top coins,
Right.
and this is without smart contracts,
Yes. Yes.
right? And there's literally about $31 billion invested into the Cardano project that is currently being being
Yes.
staked ahead of smart contracts. So that's another major thing, right? That's I think they didn't cover everything in their bullets here.
Did it?
But
There's a lot going on for it, which after this, I mean, we're about to take a major deep dive into Cardano. We're about to dissect it as much as we can.
yeah. Let's
Right.
make it quick.
Absolutely. So, Grayscale, right, essentially sold some of their investments and they used the proceeds to buy a lot more Cardano, as it says there. So I would say when a major fund like this is investing into something, right, obviously the level of research there is very deep,
Yeah.
right? So one of the other things I'm also going to point out here, and something that they also have on this article that is really good, is the fact that Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain uh, technology, if you will.
Yeah,
And what that does is that it's essentially aiming to solve the scalability issues and efficiency issues that Ethereum is facing right now.
exactly.
Right.
So proof of stake versus proof of work.
Yes.
Proof of stake basically means you use less energy consumption. You use the amount of coins already available
Right.
to generate, you know, and instead of having to create coins,
Yeah. Instead of mining, if you will, to create
mining,
coins.
yeah, exactly, mining the coins.
Yeah,
you just
like you
use the
would.
already coins available.
Exactly. And this is something that has kind of come up, even though it's not really been a legitimate argument. But one of the arguments that has been coming up is this Bitcoin mining situation, right? And
Yep.
how it consumes so much energy. Yeah, there is, especially like say in China, there's definitely been a lot of mining activity that was not with clean energy. It definitely requires a lot of energy to keep mining. You have to buy all these rigs and all this other stuff. I mean, the overhead to mine is definitely high up there. But when you move over to proof of stake, right, validation is happening just
It's even
through,
more secure as well.
is more secure, and it's just more through providing liquidity, if you will. So if you're a coin holder,
Yep.
you can be a validator.
Yep.
All right. So
Which actually makes it more decentralized than Bitcoin.
absolutely. So that is also definitely a good point there. Now, looking into some of the things that Cardano is doing in Africa, right? Before we even jump into this here, I don't know. Do you want to touch on this first before we move on to things like Atala Prism and Singularity Net?
Yeah. So, before we even jump to Africa, because nobody really cares about Africa for some reason, but Cardano does, is
And
that, we just talked about Grayscale investing in it, which is an
right,
American company. Now we also have Orion here, where they are going to be partnering with Cardano
right,
to kind of create a wallet,
right.
not just a wallet, but also an
A
NFT.
DeFi platform, yeah, if you will.
Yeah, a DeFi platform based on the Cardano project.
Yeah.
And this is something critical that's going to make Cardano actually kick some Ethereum butt, which is the transaction fees, right?
Absolutely.
And the decentralization. Like Ethereum does a lot of decentralization. There's a lot of wallets
Right.
and a lot of DeFi type tokens that comes out of Ethereum, but there's still an issue with the efficiency, the speed,
Right.
and the transaction fees.
Absolutely.
And with Orion already working on this, they're actually one of the top wallet creators as well. This is gonna be major.
Yeah, this is true. They've also worked with a couple other, and I think one of the cool things about Orion working with Cardano here is that you're going to be able to have cross blockchain swaps, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
Orion is it's on Binance chain, it's on Ethereum,
Binance,
it's
on
and,
Ethereum,
it's on Elrond.
On chain, on dot.
Exactly. So when you be able to kind of move between blockchains, which I think that is a major advantage, and for them to be
Yeah.
teaming up with Cardano, definitely a plus. Definitely a plus, and you'll be able to provide liquidity, and swap and all that good stuff as well. So I think that this is a pretty neat partnership.
Project going in here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a neat partnership that they have, and it's just one of the many things that
Yep.
that the Cardano is working on. Now, moving even further into the stuff that Cardano is working on in Africa, right? Because everything that we've said so far was not enough value. We got to add more value. But wait,
Sir.
there is more, right? So moving to some of the stuff that they're doing here in Africa. Okay, Kenny, do you wanna take this one?
Yeah. As a lot of people watching this show probably know, we have from the mother continent.
We're from the motherland.
Motherland, chief.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm extremely passionate about the continent.
Right.
I've personally quit my job to go work on a startup
Right.
that I founded in Nigeria. I was there for quite a while, and there's just a huge gap of things that just need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And it's just due to bad lack of leadership, bad leadership, name it.
Absolutely.
And just seeing Cardano working on the project, not just one project, several projects, several countries. I think we've said this several times on some of our videos. Ethiopia, some of all these other countries, and they are making some major progress in the education environment, in the financing environment, in providing access to the web solutions. They're doing it all. And the
Right.
continent has one of the largest populations outside of Asia. The continent, not the country.
Yeah.
And these people literally don't have access. And to see what Cardano is working on makes me even more passionate. This is one of the reasons why we're giving away $500.
Five hundred
For
dollars.
yeah, $500 for our subscribers that just to show that we believe in the Cardano project
Yeah.
and to also contribute to the project ourselves. Um, we're going to be going over some of those projects really quickly. It's true that they are still working on the proof of stake, but the reality is that once that gets implemented, we don't know exactly when yet.
Right.
People are thinking it's July.
I mean, they're already
thinking
in
probably
testing.
later than that.
They're in testing phases right now.
They already started testing, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Absolutely.
So do you want me to start going on some of the projects?
Yes, before you jump into the projects, I just also want to add into what you said there about just what it is. Most of the time when things become successful or when someone becomes successful, it's because they do something that everyone else is not doing. Right?
Yeah, create value.
Exactly. And I think in this case, if you remember at some point earlier in the video, I said that there is over 4 billion people who are offline, right? These 4 billion people are most of them are in Africa, right? They're unbanked, they have no ID, right? And they're looking for a better solution. And I think for me, one of the most incredible things is the fact that Cardano is taking a different approach to tackling most of the issues that are happening in third world countries, right? And so for me, that is where I see the value, and that's what makes me have very high conviction in it. This is why when I see people were I guess not familiar with some of the issues that are going on in Africa, and they're like, oh well, Cardano it's no way you can make it. There's no way it's gonna get from one point to another or something like that. I always wondered to myself if they understand the culture, the environment, and the hunger that the people over there have. As we go into some of these projects that they're working on here, I see a lot of opportunities for the people to level themselves up, right?
Again, that's if the bad leadership does not get in the way, because decentralization
I mean, this is decentralization.
should probably give Africa back its freedom.
Absolutely. I think it should. Because this is not guns, man. This is not wake up and go shoot a bunch of people. This is brains.
Yeah.
And I think
Yep.
the people have the brains, man. Right?
Yep.
Because if you look at it on the other hand, most of the time they are not the ones behind the gun, it's the government. So
Yep. And there are people behind the government and people behind the government,
exactly.
which
But-
we all know has been flipped upside down since colonization or right before that.
Exactly. But for the civilians, for the citizens to have access to this type of stuff, right? Jeez, man, it's a game changer. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, let's talk about education, because
Yes.
that's one thing that the continent. I don't know why I keep saying country. I guess we should make it.
I mean, they're working on this on multiple countries, so let's just say the continent, right?
yeah.
Atala Prism is the educational situation. Go for it.
Yeah. So, right now, I'll give you a good example, right?
Right.
We should probably be visualizing this, but we don't have any visuals.
We don't have
We
any
can't use
visuals.
other people's content.
Hey,
Well, just
listen,
think
man.
about it this way, right? Do you remember what grade you had in the 5th grade?
Right.
Do you know what class you got that grade in? Do you know how well you were good in your sciences, your maths, and all that kind of stuff? You don't. Now, what Cardano is trying to do now is register you. You're a student, you register into this platform, right?
Mhm.
And this software with AI and several other algorithms, right? Theories, go in there and it allows you to be able to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Right.
So that maybe when you went to go to college, if you choose to go to college, you can say, "Oh, I've always been good in biology.
Right.
This is the proven facts behind it. And in biology, these are my strengths. So biology is a big study area, right?
Right.
You can say, okay, you want to study animals, you want to study plants, you want to study, you know, the on the molecular level. It helps you dig and further better know yourself as a student, or allow the teachers to know you as a student. Or maybe when it comes to college, I don't like taking tests,
Right.
and you're a really good student, but when you're taking the test, you're not doing well. So the applications allow the colleges and the schools to say, okay, this person is still college worthy, they're just not a good test taker. So now
Absolutely.
there is information and data behind decision making around your career and around your education. And then
Definitely.
also providing access to education through a mobile app. That's another big thing that it's going to be doing as well.
That is so good. And I think if you look at the flip side of that, it's also about the teachers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with teachers being able to also put track data on the platform, and the teachers, I guess, performance also being tracked on Atala
Mm-hmm.
Prism.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a teacher somewhere that is performing very well, or their students are performing very well in a specific subject, this allows for other schools to be able to access that teacher and find out what they're doing right.
Yep.
Right, this way they can use some of their techniques to teach other students. I think it's great for everyone. It's great all around. Everyone wins from it. So far they have
Mm-hmm.
over they're working on getting about 5 million students onto the platform in the first phase, and I think 700,000 teachers, right? So once they do this, and I think they're doing this in partnership with is it World Mobile?
Yeah, so WorkMobile is another Cardano based application,
Right.
which is going to be providing internet access
Right.
using blockchain.
Of course.
Now, that's another super cool project that I would like to know more about, that I'm still learning more about.
Affordable
And
internet.
yeah, affordable internet,
Mhm.
giving granting access to
Hundreds,
probably
millions,
yeah,
millions of people. Absolutely.
millions of people once
Right.
that gets once that gets out. So yes, I think that right there is one of my favorite projects,
Right.
and it's more of the real MiFi, like not Wi-Fi where you still have to pay for access to it, but MiFi, which is your own internet.
Your own
I
internet.
think we're looking at on an Ethereum project that is already out there.
Oh, dude, I forgot
Also
the name
use
of it. Was it? Is it Helium? Helium.
Yeah, it's Helium. Yeah,
Yeah,
Helium. So
Helium.
this is the Cardano version of it.
Absolutely incredible, decentralized internet, if you will. And I think this is bringing people online, right? And it is getting when you bring people online, you're able to now bank the unbanked, and this is something that obviously we take it for granted in
In the
modern,
Western world.
yeah, in the Western world, if you will. And that is the fact that you're able to access certain things like credit, right? Able to apply for loans, and you have an ID. You can go in somewhere and you have that credibility to engage in business.
Even better, you can do it without someone having to approve your credit or to say that you're capable of being able to manage funds. You can do this in a
Yeah.
decentralized way without having to go to a bank, getting worried about racism, ethnocentric issues and all this kind of drama. You
Right.
just go into this decentralized platform and you just borrow.
Absolutely. So, and that's what it's all about, right? So once you have that digital identity, which is now decentralized, right? It's all online. You can now use collateral to borrow. You can trade and grow your portfolio and develop revenue, which is the ultimate thing.
Yeah, you don't have
And
you are your own bank.
exactly. So it's a very powerful tool. Once that is all put together. Now, the other one that is also very interesting to me is Cardano's partnership with SingularityNet. And what
Yeah.
SingularityNet is doing right now is they are developing a hub with IOHK. So IOHK is like a sister company to Cardano, right? Input output, and they're developing an IOHK hub in Addis Ababa, which will bring the future of AI essentially to Africa. Now, with this AI, I guess, with this AI technology being brought to Africa, they also have programs like Ice Addis, where they essentially help with it's like an incubator program, right? Where they support entrepreneurs and they also get
All over
programmers
the
on board.
continent.
Exactly,
Yeah.
all over the continent.
Yeah.
And they get programmers on board the platform and they get entrepreneurs on board the platform. That is an
Kind of like
incredible
similar to what
combination.
Facebook is doing. They are training young entrepreneurs to
Right.
use the Cardano platform or the code to
Yeah.
build other apps, therefore accessing and providing access to blockchain technology across the continent.
Exactly.
So it was like you can develop a website using the Cardano project.
Absolutely. Now, so with that, with those tools available to the people in Africa, I can only imagine the bright ideas, right? The level of intelligence just being spewed out there and where it takes us to the future. So, I mean, with all of these things, it's really difficult to not see Cardano just ripping to the upside. Right now, whether it's going to surpass Ethereum, that's a different conversation. But as far
Also,
as
Ethereum has an edge because they have about 8,000 or so proven tokens of the Ethereum of the Ethereum coin.
well,
And
but
that's
what
just-
happens? What happens if some of the applications on Ethereum start moving over to Cardano?
Because of the efficiency and the lower gas fees.
Exactly.
Yes, that's a big possibility.
Exactly. Because this thing is built from the ground up
Yeah.
as proof of
And it's
stake. It's not trying to
proof of
transform
stake.
from proof of stake to proof of work, right? So Cardano
Yeah.
is working. I mean, the Ethereum team is currently working hard to switch over to proof of stake. We'll see what happens. Apparently, there's supposed to be
Yeah,
some
they're
stuff
doing
getting
that with the
released.
2.0. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I hope it works, because if it works, that's great. If it does not work, then Cardano is definitely waiting there to pick up the pieces, right? One other thing that Cardano is also on the Cardano platform is going to be peer-to-peer finance with Marlow. Now, actually, before we jump into this, let's talk a little bit about the smart contracts, okay, because I know you kind of looked at that as well. The testing that is currently going on with the
yeah,
smart
man,
contracts.
that-
I know
that-
they have like some
that-
color coordinated situation.
Yeah, that has my brain itching, man. So currently they're in phase blue right now.
Right.
For what's the name of the
Alonso.
Alonso
Yes.
is a blue.
Alonso.
So that's basically they're almost done.
Yeah, so it's currently essentially a situation where it's set up. It's not like something that is not existing. They're currently in the testing phases, right? So
Yeah.
kind of like any project, and it's just there was actually like a whole video. I watched like a 2-hour video, by the way,
Yeah.
with the project manager, kind of bringing on all these different people and asking about it, and it was interesting. It was really cool
Yep.
to watch,
Yeah, testing the code,
Absolutely.
ensuring that it's working.
Right. So they're
Um,
testing and they're slowly onboarding people as well.
Yeah.
Not everyone is on it right away, but at some point, it's going to be full blown public,
Yep.
right?
The staking, providing liquidation, and all that good stuff. What I found interesting though was that they're not doing the liquidation event that Shibu plans to do.
Oh, you mean like the burning of tokens?
Yeah.
That is actually interesting. Let's see what their market cap is actually.
Oh, that's a high percentage in terms of
I mean, that's
circulating.
it's lower than
To the supply.
it's lower than Shiba.
It's lower
Oh,
than Shiba, but
and I would say this: there's a limit to it compared to Ethereum.
It
Why
was
is that?
31 billion. Another 2 billion has been added. That's 32 billion or 45 billion. That is major.
Yeah, that is definitely major, right?
That is more
And-
than half.
and it's not infinity
Yep.
like some others out there, so there is going to
Yep.
be a stop at some point, right?
Yep.
So-
And that's smart contracts platform.
Exactly. Now, one thing that they're also taking on is Marlow. If you remember the GameStop situation
Mm-hmm.
where people were unable to, you give your funds to a platform, you expect that you should always be able to access your funds, and then one day when the hedge funds mess up and society is whooping their ass left and right, right? You go in there to take your own gains and you get screwed over,
Yeah.
right? This is
Robin
some
Hood,
of,
somebody.
man. Dude, hey, you know what I thought was really interesting? Because they used the word democratizing finance somewhere here.
Right there. Yeah, you just
Isn't
have
that
to-
Robin Hood's? Isn't that Robin Hood's logo?
Yeah. So they say.
Yeah. But yeah, they did. They did. So they're saying that they're essentially going to be the real Robin Hood, if you will. With Marlowe, we aim to democratize finance. This is almost like what Robin Hood said, but except this time around it's on smart contracts by facilitating peer-to-peer agreements that run on a blockchain. So you don't need an intermediary, you don't need a third party, right, to be able to transact between you and
So they're basically
stock.
saying there's no need for market makers.
Yes,
If you
essentially.
are buying the coin, you're buying it directly from the owner of the
Exactly.
the buyer seller. So there's no need for
Exactly.
the application will be the platform, but you're doing a direct transaction with the buyer and the seller. So it's you versus the hedge fund. No market makers, nobody providing supplies and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. All of that stuff is automated. And of course, this also means that things can settle much faster.
Faster
Yeah.
than waiting a day or two or
Exactly.
3 days in
Exactly.
the case of Robin Hood for a transaction to settle.
Dude, I remember when you tried to transfer your stuff from Robinhood to TD.
Jeez, I
Dude,
lost a
that
lot of
was-
money because of that.
That was a painful experience.
A whole
man.
month.
Yeah, just watching you and PJ going through that, it was, jeez. You guys really braved it out. You guys were patient. I would say that.
Yeah, well,
Because-
what am I gonna do? Go over to the office and shut them up?
Well, they don't have a phone number, so you cannot even call them. I wonder if they even have an address.
jeez.
So, yeah. Dude, PJ was not having it. He was sending them those emails daily. I was having a blast with that one. It was funny. Now, before we close it out here, one of the other things that, because you were actually speaking to me not too long ago about
Yeah,
staking
I've been
your
wanting to stake
Cardano.
my Cardano coins.
Dedalus is the wallet, and this should be. I've downloaded it on my PC. I have not been able to log into it yet, but I'm going to mess with it. But you'll be able to stake your Cardano on Dedalus, right? So you can see that Cardano is a whole suite of blockchain technology, ranging across different fields, if you will, and I think for these reasons, man, for me, I think that this is what I'm looking at, and this is what makes me excited every day to keep holding my Cardano and to buy more when I have the money to buy more, and of course staking it and even giving away some like we're doing right now.
Yeah, it's all about giving back. We are learning just like you guys are, but we're trying to learn a lot much faster so that we can provide value.
Yes.
Again, thanks for the question, but no, if you think we've answered your question, great. If you think we still have more, if you think you still have more questions, go ahead and ask, and we'll be glad to dig in a little bit further and give you more details. But we do think that Cardano has the potential. It's a growing platform, and the impact it's gonna have is probably gonna give it the edge above some of the current coins that people are making a lot of noise about.
Absolutely. Also, I'm going to leave the links to input output in the description. I'm also going to leave the link to this article, which was on input output, the link to Cardano's website, and Orion as well. And if you have any other questions, please comment down below. Let us know anything you would like us to review on the channel or the other cryptos.
We should do a video about Shiba Inu next.
Shiba, hey man, I'm down for Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is a fun one, man. It's seems like an interesting coin. We'll see how that one turns out. Hey, if this thing rips up to the upside, man, I'm hyped. You can't lose,
Can't lose, but need more money in it.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Well, time solves everything, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well,
Consistency.
exactly. Mr. Leo, hope we answered your question. Hope this was valuable. Hope this was this helped you with your decision. But then again, we also have to say this is not financial advice.
Yeah.
right? This
Yeah.
is just
Always.
this is just a crypto review, if you will,
Oh.
blockchain review. We call it blockchain review, or is this crypto review?
Well, crypto is a type of blockchain, so
True that. Well, we reviewed something today. We give you our thoughts. So there you go. Hey man, I have no more jokes. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Javon present out.
double O out.